Today's gonna be a good day. Apparently, one of Trump's, I'm not sure if it's gonna be an executive order or what it's gonna be. Those fathers or mothers out there that are paying child support will now be able to claim their kids on their taxes for the tax exemption. This is a huge deal. There's a lot of parents out there, both fathers and mothers, that are getting screwed over with child support, right? Especially, I know it varies from state to state. I can speak for California, and the system's ridiculous. I'm glad that there's some change coming for all those parents out there paying child support. You'll be able to claim your children now on your taxes, which is great news. Yeah. The child support system is obviously in need of some reform. I know here in California, it's horrible. I got a lot of friends that are on child support. The system's crazy. Dads out there paying a shitload of child support, and you see the girls, right? Either unemployed or even if they have another job with their nice nails or fancy cars, drinking fucking Starbucks every morning. Meanwhile, you got the father barely able to pay any fucking bills, working his ass off just to stay afloat.
Exactly.
So I think it's good. I think change is good.
Yeah.
I think it's fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
I want to know how all those parents that have been paying child support, what do you guys think about this? Right? All the fathers and mothers out there, I know there's a couple, they're rare, but they're out there. What do you guys think about this new law that's going to go into effect? I can imagine the people that are getting child support, waking up this morning and seeing that news.
Is Trump changing the way that property division happens in divorce? The rumor I have heard going around is that Trump is going to change the law so that the spouse who earned the money that purchased an asset would keep that asset in divorce. So that means that a low-earning spouse or a stay-at-home spouse would walk away with significantly less.
It's high time that this type of laws change, honestly. It's becoming too overbearing for most people, especially men in every place.
Good afternoon, people. There's some people about to be real mad about the world. But let me tell you this. One thing that needs to be addressed is child support laws.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to make nobody mad or nothing. But how is it that a woman can have a baby by a man? They break up or they decide to quit or whatever they decide, they end up with a child in the middle of all this. Woman can take her ass down to the Department of Human Services and file child support on a percentage of the man's wages, right?
It's just unfair.
He don't got no choice but to pay him. They go to court, they have a court order for him to pay so much money. But inside of the court order, is no order for visitation rights. So when the father said that he want to see his child, it's up to the mother now if she wants to let him see his own child.
What bothers me about most of these laws is that were men there when these laws were being passed? I mean, what type of men were there and they saw all these laws being passed? Because a law will not come to effect until it goes through the Senate, the House, and then it gets passed. Were men there? What's wrong with some of our men out there?
That's one law that needs to be changed for so many reasons. You need to let the judge figure out if he's unfit to see the kid. If he's a drug addict, alcohol, or whatever, that's also a judgment. Other than that, because some of y'all, the mothers, are drug addicts and all kind of shit too. But you drawing child support.
Exactly.
And buying it on alcohol and drugs and all kind of other shit. Children hungry, nappy-headed, out stealing and crawling. Everybody wanting them. Same thing. You unfit too.
Yeah.
Well, hello, everyone. I wanted to get on here because I've been seeing a lot lately about this new proposed law that is potentially coming down the pipeline with Trump taking office about how men that pay child support will be able to claim their children on income taxes. So let me just dive right into this potential change. First off, I hope it applies for both men and women because it goes to both sides of the coin.
Well, naturally it will.
Back fact with myself, I paid child support for well over 10 years and well into six figures. I did it because it was what was required in the decree, and I felt it was what was what was right for my children at the time. Just like a lot of different things with our current child support laws, do I think that this potential blanket law is going to be a good thing? Don't know about that. And here's why. Here's my thoughts on this. Whether if you're a man or a woman, first off, I'm going to say that I think the biggest and most important thing is not what kind of financial aid you pay to that other parent, which in some cases it is very essential. But to me, the biggest thing is what kind of parent are you to your children?
I see where he's going. I see his point. But the truth of the matter is that some of these laws need to change. It's not favoring men. Most men are suffering. It's almost like they are enslaved, and this is not too good.
What kind of parent are you for your children? Not the kind of money that you provide for them, because at the end of the day, what your kids are going to remember about you as a parent, especially when they get older, is what kind of a parent were you for them? Were you there for their events? Did you support them? Were you always encouraging for them? No matter what was going on with that other parent, did you always have the best interest for your children?
Right? Child support has been ruled unconstitutional by a Supreme Court. Yeah. No, I brought receipts. Pause to read. So in most cases,
you can pause and read.
A Supreme Court ruling is like kryptonite to a judge. They have to consider it, whether you know or you don't know any case law. So hypothetically, so let's take the state of Minnesota, for instance. A Supreme Court ruling deemed child support and the collective agencies unconstitutional because it violated the state's constitution for separation of powers. And let's not forget that this ruling also deemed that under constitutional law, Article 3, Section 1, it violates it because lack of probable cause. So hypothetically, if one was to say spend $30 and go down and petition the clerk of court and cite what we just discussed, you're probably more pleased with the outcome of what the judge is going to say.
So who gets to claim the child on the taxes? Let's talk about it, because I've been getting tagged in all of the videos discussing this alleged proposal that Trump tweeted that basically said if you're the parent that is paying child support, that you will by default get to claim the child on the taxes every single year. And so let's preface this video by saying it is merely a tweet, it is merely a proposal, it is merely something that Trump may be seeking to introduce as he assumes the presidency.
Which is actually good. If he's thinking of it, that means somebody somewhere in the presidency has the brain to think of these things, because he's almost looking as if most of the men around the government are simps.
In other words, it is not current law. So let's talk about what is law. Right now, federal law says that the custodial parent that has the child the majority of the time throughout the year is the parent that gets to claim the child on the taxes every single year. What does that mean here in Texas if you have a court order that says you and your co-parent are going to take turns claiming the child on your taxes? So maybe y'all are going to alternate years. If he decides to claim the child on a year that is technically your year, it's not like the IRS is going to go reading your divorce decree and saying, you know what, you're right. Like, it was actually mom's year, but dad claimed. And so if anything, it's the IRS, right? You may have a contractual claim against him in civil court, but federal law is federal law, and federal law says that right now the primary parent gets to claim the child every single year. In other words, you know that I represent a lot of moms, and so it's not uncommon to see the mom be the primary parent, and sometimes they'll say, well, I want to claim the child every single year, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to stay silent as to that issue because federal law is already in your favor. Absent an agreement in your order, absent any other language in your order that says otherwise, primary parent gets to claim the child on their taxes every single year as of right now. That's not to say that Trump wouldn't be actually seeking to introduce this new proposal that says the parent paying child support would be the one to claim every single year. And so if this law actually does take into effect, consult with a lawyer near you, because there's a chance that even if it did take into effect, it would not supersede the contractual agreement that you have in your court order that says y'all are going to alternate years. If your order is silent as to, who gets to claim the child on your taxes, then it could affect you. So always consult with an attorney. This is not legal advice. I just wanted to clear the air and say that this is not new law that has taken into effect. So everybody's talking